This video will teach you how to tongue on the clarinet. So right now I'm just using the mouthpiece with the reed and the ligature attached to the barrel. I find that with students this is a really great way to remove the rest of the clarinet and the distraction of where your hands might go, any kind of confusion or thoughts about your hand position, just so you can purely focus on the technique that's happening with your mouth, your embouchure, as well as what your tongue is doing. So that way you don't have to worry about the rest of your hands on the instrument. So the very first thing you're going to do is to remember the phrase tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed. Tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed. So if you keep repeating that to yourself, that will help you immensely. So identify the tip of your tongue just by sticking it out. And maybe touch it a little bit. And then you're going to see the very top of the reed right here is where you're lightly going to touch your tongue. And pretend like you're a little snake. You can also say two, 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 and your tongue will literally touch the very top of the reed. So I want you to try just starting with a good embouchure. Remember, it's like you're blowing across a little stir straw from Starbucks. See the flat chin, a little circle in the middle, like you're blowing through a tiny straw. Corners are closed, and we're going to put that good embouchure up to the mouthpiece. The next step is to blow consistent, strong air, and I want you to experiment with interrupting the airstream as you're blowing it with your tongue touching the tip of the reed. Okay, so the one way you can picture that is if you turn a faucet on, like at your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink, and then this water just juts out really fast. If you take your hand and you interrupt the water stream, the water, our air, is still coming out, but your tongue is just dicing it and cutting it up. But the water or your air is always flowing. Okay, so I want you to start with your embouchure, put your mouthpiece in, blow strong air, and then start touching the tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed and see if you can interrupt that air. And if you're doing it right, it should tickle a little bit. And that's how you know that you're doing it at the very top, just really lightly. Pretend like your reed is on fire and you have to pull your tongue away very fast. If you leave your tongue down, it could interrupt the air or the sound for too long, but you want to keep the sound flowing. That way it's a very light tongue technique. The second exercise I want you to try once you master that and knowing the feeling of your tongue on the tip of the reed is to start with your tongue pushing the reed down. Now we usually have a gap right between the reed and the mouthpiece. That allows the air to flow through and create sound when your reed vibrates. I want you to start with your tongue pushing the tip of the reed down, which means that gap is sealed shut. You are blowing really strong air, as you should be, but there won't be a sound because it can't flow into that gap. Once you blow and you feel like you're giving good air with your tongue pushing the reed down, I want you to let go of your tongue, and you should have a burst of sound because that gateway has been opened. It's going to sound like this. So start with your tongue on the reed. So that was a little shocking. If you're getting that shocking, like, whoa, that means you're doing it right. You're giving a lot of good air. Let's hear that one more time. And then you can experiment with bringing your tongue back and starting more notes while blowing consistent air between the notes, but starting more notes progressively, faster and faster.